Well, it's our monthly check-in time with our favorite Clemson Extension Agent, Elizabeth Parker. She is the Rural Health and Nutrition Extension Agent for Lancaster County. So welcome back, Elizabeth.
Thank you.
And we'll go ahead and do it at the beginning. Normally you come with Hannah Shifflett, who does what you do, but for Chester and York counties. And she actually had her baby this week. So we want to say congratulations to Hannah and remind us of her husband's name.
John.
And
they had a little boy. His name's Jackson Edward.
Yes. So congratulations to Hannah and John. So we're excited for her, and we can't wait to see her back in about 12 weeks, right?
Yep, we can't wait.
You're already counting down, aren't you, Elizabeth?
But I'm happy for it.
Elizabeth, of course, we know that we are in the middle of July, and this is vacation season. People are at the beach and at the pool because it's hot. It's hot, hot, hot. But we have to make sure that when we are doing that we are protecting ourselves and our skin. So I know you wanted to talk to us about UV Safety Month is the month of July.
Right, yeah. So we just want to make sure that we are being safe in the sun. So we have some tips for y'all today. And our first tip is to seek shade. So especially during those hours from 10 to 4 p.m. So those are when the sun rays are at their strongest. So make sure that you're seeking shade during that time. Or if you do go out, try to really protect yourself. You can wear long sleeves, long pants. You could go out and get you a new wide brim hat to wear, or even some UV blocking sunglasses. But making sure you're seeking that shade. And then we want to avoid tanning. So that intentional tanning is actually not good for our skin. Tanning is actually our body's response to UV damage. So that glow that you're seeing is actually showing that your skin is becoming damaged. So we want to make sure that we're avoiding that.
So are you saying everyone on the Jersey Shore is wrong? That's what you're saying. Gym Tan Laundry, you're saying they're wrong.
Well, some of that might not be like from the UV.
Probably not natural.
So a lot of that, you're right.
Some of that might be, spray.
They're quite orange
cream.
on that show. Yeah.
But speaking of that, it's very important to generously apply sunscreen.
That's right. Yep. So we want to make sure that we are using sunscreen anytime we go outdoors. We want to make sure that we're using an SPF of 30 or higher, and making sure that we apply 15 minutes before we go into the sun. So don't wait until you're on the beach to apply the sunscreen. Go ahead and put it on when you're getting dressed, getting your bathing suit on, so it has time to set in. And then don't forget to reapply. So we want to reapply every 2 hours. And then after swimming, after sweating, after toweling off, that's something I always have to remind my daughter of. After we swim, we got to reapply and then try again.
And it's, I think this is a place too where we forget, like, just kids out playing sports out, getting cooked, right? Watching the sports. Yeah. So that's always important too. Is there any difference, or is one better than the other when it comes to really using the cream versus the spray?
No, I'm not sure of that. Okay. We'll have to do some research on that and get back to you.
I feel like the first time I go out, I do try to use the lotion, and then after that, just purely for convenience, I'm like, grab the spray. My kids now are at the point where they can just kind of spray themselves. Yeah. So I'm like, grab the spray. But I've always wondered, is that really working as well? I guess I feel like the lotion does work better because you're applying it, it's sinking in.
More aware of getting your entire body to, where the spray you might not. But I'm not sure about the effectiveness.
Okay.
Yeah.
Use extra caution near water and sand. Why is that?
So these surfaces can actually reflect the sun's rays, and so it can increase the effects of the sun. So you want to make sure that you're using the sunscreen, especially if you're going swimming or on the beach, but also in the wintertime. So snow also is a surface that will reflect those sun rays. So if you're going skiing, you want to make sure that you are putting that sunscreen on. I know we don't have a lot of snow here, but we do go skiing in the winter. So, and I come home a lot with sunburn, if I've been skiing. So
and I do think people think if they're in the water that the water is protecting them. That is not the case.
Yeah, that's not the
That's
case.
Almost the
opposite.
It's worse.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. So you always should protect yourself in or out of the water.
Right. And making sure you give it time to soak in before you get in.
And get vitamin D safely.
Yes. So vitamin D is it's really important. It helps our bones. But the National Council on Skin cancer prevention actually recommends that we get our vitamin D from natural sources of food or supplements if your doctor recommends that. So we want to try to avoid just using the sun to get that vitamin D. So we can seek out fortified milks, juices, cereals, also some fish like salmon or tuna. All of those would have that vitamin D, and you don't have to depend on the sun.
I take the airborne gummies. Thank you.
Oh,
yep.
Look at you.
Take my airborne vitamin C and vitamin D gummies. Yep.
Your
The multivitamin. Yes, thank you.
There you go.
You thought I was going to go Flintstone vitamins, didn't you? You thought.
That's like eating chalk.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I wonder if they've gotten better over the years.
I don't know. I'm not trying.
They're still protecting me 25 years ago.
So any last minute tips when it comes to July being UV safety month?
Yeah, just don't forget, sunscreen is really important. I know everybody likes to have that glow, that suntan, but you really don't want to damage your skin in the long run. So making sure we use that sun protected.
It might look good now, but it might not look good when we're,
very true.
In our older years, when we're mature.
Skin cancer is very real.
That is right. And one last thing I was going to ask you too. I think a lot of people, when it comes to, they think about their body first, their arms and their legs, more so than their face, like their ears and their hair, like their hairline. I've gotten burnt, in my part before.
Oh, yeah.
We're not spraying it, or, your lips. I've come home from the beach with fever blisters. So I think it's just so important to also remember not only your body, but your face
ears,
as well.
Yeah, that's a prime spot for those skin cancer cells to kind of develop. So making sure you're getting your entire face. And actually, I almost forgot, they recommend avoiding sunscreen for 6 months and younger.
Okay.
And that's not, so I wasn't aware of that until we started doing the research on this. Infants are just more prone to the side effects of sunscreen, like those rashes and stuff like that. So you really want to use that protective clothing that came out about the time my daughter was young. And
swim shirts
yes,
and
it's really
hats.
helpful.
Yeah, that's great.
Instead of using the sunscreen.
And if people want more information, Elizabeth, where can they go? Where can they find y'all?
So actually, we just did a blog post on this very topic, and it's on HGIC. So that's the Home and Garden Information Center with Clemson. So you can search HGIC and then just type in UV safety, and it'll take you straight to our blog.
All right. Well, thank you so much for our monthly check-in. Of course, this is Elizabeth Parker, who is a Rural Health and Nutrition Extension Agent with Clemson University for Lancaster County. So we appreciate it, Elizabeth, and we'll see you next month.
Thank you for having me.